What would you like to know?
Everything. I want to know everything.
Why?
Why do I want to know about your son? Because he killed mine.
It's not our fault, Richard.
Hey, Jeff, hey.
I'm doing great, guys. How are you? Jason, Fran, so thank you so much for talking to me today about Mass. What a hard-hitting drama. I mean, I went cold into this film. I knew something about it from Sundance, but I didn't have a chance to see it. About two sets of parents agreeing to meet in an effort to move forward after a mass shooting tragedy. You know, Jason, what was your initial reaction when you read the script? Because 4 characters, 1 room, a stage setting. I mean, this is an actor's project.
No, I thought it was the work of an insane person. How could this possibly be a film? I knew the idea, and then I read it, and I went, how could this not be? I hope we don't screw it up. That's what I thought. I thought this is a brilliantly told story of humans trying to connect and move forward in life. And this is the reason I became an actor.
And Fran, mass shootings are focused on the victims or the shooter. Here you focus on the parents of the victims and their journey of grief and anger. This has never been seen before, at least explored in depth like this.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, to me, I never quite thought of it as trying to come up or think of a new subject. I want to believe in redemption. You know, if we can't allow for people to change or find redemption, you know, what's the point? You know, so to me, and reading these stories and reading about these meetings, even with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa, which I researched extensively, the perpetrator was just as human as the victim, and same with the families. And so for me, there was this kind of equivalence always from the beginning. It wasn't as if I'd sort of unearthed something or thought I had something we hadn't seen before. There's equal value to all of these people.
And I found it fascinating you explored the parents of the shooter, because just think of their lives, you know, and she says that line, I raised a murderer. I mean, just how their lives have changed and their grief. And that's just something that the public never thinks about. You know, they just put the blame game
everywhere. They will
everywhere.
when they see this film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, Jason, at times I felt like I was invading such a private conversation. I just felt like I felt like I wanted to leave the room half the time.
Well, I mean, that's the reason that hopefully people will go and see this in the cinema. It's the most magnificently orchestrated symphony of human emotion, and you want to feel what they feel, which is that they're trapped in this room. They could leave. Why have they come there? They think they've come there to achieve something, but it's not happening the way they want it to happen. And to feel that, I saw it for the first time with an audience the other day, and it was an extraordinary sensation, the kind of how gripped the audience were, wanting to know how it was going to play out. I'm glad you felt that, but you didn't get to leave the room. They don't get to leave the room until, I don't want to spoil what happens, until there is some movement, some growth, some reason to leave the room.
Yeah, especially that giant crucifix staring at you the entire movie there, Jason. How uncomfortable was it?
Well, you know, it's a meeting in a church hall. Actually, it was someone asked about it, but it wasn't part of the set design. It's just we weren't allowed to take it down.
Yeah,
right?
this was the church we found. I loved this church. I loved meeting the Reverend there. They were such a good home for us. But I didn't want a church that looked like a concert hall. You know, I wanted a church that had a modesty and humility to it, and I wanted it to feel like it doesn't get a lot of people there anymore. But yes,
the church basement. Yeah, the church basement. I know it well. When growing up, I'm telling you.
Right.
Yeah.
And Fran, how did you plan your coverage? You know, as the story progresses, I noticed you kept getting closer and closer to the characters. But how do you plan when you're shooting 4 characters like that? Do you do multiple coverage at once, or?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you noticed that and appreciate it. We had 2 cameras. We thought that was necessary. We never would have made our days, so we had 2 cameras. But we wanted the camera to evolve in parallel or mirror the emotions of the conversation. So as the conversation begins to deteriorate, as the characters get more emotional, more frustrated, we wanted the camera to reflect that. So my cinematographer and I, Ryan Jackson Healy, we did a lot of preparation in terms of thinking about how we would slowly devolve the sort of aesthetic of the film. And hopefully it happens in such a way that the audience doesn't quite realize that they've arrived at a handheld camera when they started in a static 2-shot. You know, those are the things we wanted to make work imperceptibly.
And finally today, Jason, how did Fran do? First time filmmaker? I mean, what an amazing feat. I know you for your comedy, but now I have a whole new respect for you because this is one of the best performances of your career, I think.
Well, he was so fantastic, I don't remember him doing anything. I mean, what I mean is, you're talking about the camera work, and we felt like we were having There's very intense, very emotional, telling this extraordinary story of human beings connecting. And Fran made it happen. It clearly works magnificently on the screen for audiences because they're getting a huge experience from it. And all I remember is the other three people with whom I was interacting, which means he did brilliantly.
Well, Jason, Fran, thank you so much for joining today, and especially Mass, one of the most remarkable films of the year. Congratulations, and let's talk again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff.